In this video, we brought some prompts for you guys, keep you engaged. We got some grease, got some wipes. We're gonna talk about greasing your machine. I guess we can't really get into loading it into the freaking gun and how to use it, but this is what you're gonna use. Got the grease, and I mean, maybe you wanna speak to some of the joints and points that we hit, and then I'll maybe talk about cleaning it after that.
Hopefully by this point, you know, you've already been greasing stuff, right?
So.
Because you're now going to be the operator. I think one point I want to drive home is, although there may be people assigned to greasing machines before you operate, as an operator, it is your sole responsibility before you operate a machine to make sure that like you've done the oil checks, you've done the greasing, to make sure that like you've taken care of it. At the end of the day, like you're in charge of that. And so if it doesn't happen, like that's on you. And that's the main point we want to get home is that like, hey, you're now getting an increase probably in pay as an operator, now getting more responsibility as an operator. Like you have to level up on the responsibility sides too, you know what I mean?
I think that's great. This is a way to start your day off with a win.
Yeah.
And there's a really cool, you guys have probably even heard of it, but it's like a talk that was given by an admiral, and he says the thing that really makes the military successful is they start the day off making their bed, right? And that's kind of how they make their bed is how they do everything else. So if you're taking responsibility of the machine and making sure it's getting greased well, it's a win on the day so that you can then get in the machine and then go perform at a high level. So I like that you put that on there. I think you need to take responsibility for it. It is your job. Do not blame somebody else. It's you if it's not getting taken care of. And I'm actually going to talk about maybe cleaning after the grease points because you're right. They should know. You should know where the freaking grease areas are. But this is something that we're really struggling with, so that's why I wanted to bring this out, okay? You'll see this on many job sites. People will freaking grease it and then they'll wipe the grease back on the machine or do something like that. It's literally like painting, like you're painting the machine with grease. Use one of these, okay? Freaking pull out one of these guys, use this, wipe it off, like take care of the machine because then we don't have a nasty mess on our machines. And really, it's just a presentation thing, but when the Forest Service people, they come and they see our stuff, they do talk in their office and we can lose future bids on something that dumb.
Yeah. It's like, oh, the machines don't look like they're taking care of them. Or,
exactly. And so it's like, oh, it's not a big deal. I'll just do it. You don't know. That might have lost us $1 million job. Like really, it's so dumb, but that might be the difference. And so take a little bit extra time and that could give you 5, 10, 20 more guaranteed years of working here and having massive success. So use one of these, wipe it off, make sure it gets taken care of.
And I just want to add to that. Basically, you've got like on your, let's just say an excavator, right? You've got your bucket pins. You want to make sure that these are greased every 10 hours. So basically every day, right?
Yep.
Which is called every day you're greasing them. On the boom, you got every part of the boom that needs to be greased. You've got blades, you've got undercarriages, things like that. So those all need to be greased on a daily basis, every 10 hours, right? Wipe up extra grease because what happens is you grease it until it comes out of the joints and then just wipe up the extra because it's supposed to squeeze out, right? That's how you know it's done. So if there's extra, wipe it up just a little bit. And then there's other areas that are like every 50 hours, which might be other parts of the undercarriage or other areas that don't get as much daily action that don't require it, right? On the back of every machine in the panel, there's a list of all the grease zerks that need to be greased. You should be familiar with those, when they need to be greased, and just take care of business.
I think that's pretty good. I'm going to switch gears and maybe talk a little bit about cleaning.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so we'll go over cleaning. I wanted to talk about maybe the air filters, shaking out those main air filters as well. You can check those, open up the door, you'll see them. One thing when we got our machine, they did mention not to hit it too hard. I guess you can break some things internally there. So make sure it's clean, you pull off the filter, but don't hit it crazy hard, okay? But you're gonna just kind of hit it, get the dirt off, get the dust off. That's something we had on here.
And one note on that, if there's dust in your air filters, there's dust in your engine, right? So we just want to make sure those air filters are nice and clean. If they need to be replaced, make a note, we'll get those ordered, get them replaced ASAP, not a big deal.
Yeah, but we've kind of got a note on here just that maybe that's a good Monday thing.
Yeah.
It's a great
Every
Monday.
Monday.
Every Monday, just when you start that shift. Obviously, you're doing the other points daily, right, with the greasing and things, but that's something you can say, okay, Mondays. And a lot of the time, a general rule of thumb, maybe your areas that don't get as much use, they can be greased when you do the air filter change. Okay, that's like a general rule.
Same with cabin filters, right? On everything that has an interior cabin's got your cabin to keep the dust out from the inside. You know, we want to keep these machines nice and clean on the inside. Removing garbage, clean off your boots, right? It's like, hey, these machines, if they cost $500,000 or maybe even $250,000 or $100,000, shake off the, you know, the boots and get in it so that it's not as dirty, right?
Yep, I love that, thank you. And then that just brings us to the point of vacuuming and wiping down the interior of the machine. Same thing, you can use these puppies, they're multi-purpose, you could use them to clean inside the machine.
Or we'll have Armor All, right?
Yeah, exactly. We just want to make sure that it looks good. And that might be something, it's totally up to you, however you want to systemize that, but you could do that at the end of the week as well. That way you're going back to your house on a win as well. So you're starting on a win Monday, you're making sure everything's clean on Monday. Every day you're starting with wins with the greasing. And then on the weekends, or when your week ends, your work week, vacuum, wipe down interior of the machine, and just make sure you're treating it really well.
Yeah.
Kind of like this note you've got.
Yeah, the note that I have there is treat equipment like you would a new house or a nice truck, right? If this was your truck, would you be doing that same thing to it? Probably not, right? You might treat it a little bit better.
Especially if you're picking up a girl in that truck. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
That's good.
So why does this matter? Let's just talk about the principle in general. Let's just say you have a machine that hasn't been greased, it's squeaky, the fittings are loose, and let's say it's dirty on the inside, there's scratches everywhere, it looks ugly. You get in that thing, like, you don't care if you get one more scratch on it, right? You don't care if you miss a couple more grease times, but like, if it's cleaned up, it's going to be treated better by you, and then the next person. It's kind of like a telephone game, right? So if you leave it well for the next guy, like, they're more likely to leave it well, and less maintenance costs down the road, which equals more money back into your pocket.
Yeah, that's, you know me, I'm the money guy, so that's exactly what I was gonna just touch on. If we can create less problems, it's just a better future for everybody. We really do have the desire to put that money back into people, not things. People matter more than things, and these machines are assets to help us have a better life, really. And so we want to put that money back into you as an operator, not spending time with these expensive fixes that could have been avoided with daily touch points.
Perfect. We have two more items here that we'll just bust out real quick. Let's talk about making sure you start the engine on these machines. Let them warm up for 3 to 5 minutes before you just jump in, because these cold mornings, you've got cold hydraulic oil in their cylinders. And each ram has an O-ring essentially that you want to get the cold hydraulic fluid out and get hot hydraulic fluid in there so that you don't roll an O-ring and then now your rams start leaking and start causing problems. So it's important that you take the time, do the proper procedures to warm up all the machines, and just make sure they're taken care of. They're our babies, right? So just take care of them.
I think that's great. If there's anything else you want to touch, I'm good on that one.
Okay, yeah, last thing, just so everyone knows, I want this to be general information, how often oil changes and stuff like that need to happen. So here's the general rule. Every 500 hours, we're going to change the engine oil, we're going to change the air filters, we're going to change the final drive oil, right, in the hubs. So that's 500 hours. And then at 1,000 hours, we're going to do a bigger one. We're going to change our coolants, we're going to drain the coolant, we're going to drain the fuel, we're going to drain hydraulic oil, we're going to change filters, all that stuff. It's going to be the works at 1,000 hours. Something that we're going to do at 500 and 1,000 hours is we're going to do a fluid analysis. So essentially we send some of that analysis into CAT, and then they send us the results. And over, let's just say 10 oil changes, we now have a trending chart. Say, hey, we're almost due for, maybe a new final drive or something else. So essentially we can start predicting our maintenance. And that's important that as an operator, and you're reporting, hey, it's time for this to happen, right? We're overdue, because this is such a crucial metric for us.
Yeah. Thank you.